Mrs. Green Apple, we are continuing our track-by-track listen through to the album Attitude that came out about 6 years ago, but I decided this would be a great place to do my first full album listen to a Mrs. Green Apple album because it seems to have a lot of songs that I really liked were on there. And well, the next track we're on to, track 4, is Cheers. Now, interestingly enough, this seems to have, as a couple of these do, music videos, but I haven't seen it before. So this is a song which is both part of this really interesting track-by-track album listen through, but also a song that seemingly was released with its own music video. So obviously they put budget behind it, they believed in it. I'm intrigued to see what we get. Now, I'm not going to repeat all the things you've heard me say a million times before about why I'm doing this. Miss Green Apple, obviously a massive thing here in Japan, but also I feel like they kind of deserve it for the quality. What am I expecting from this? Well, I want to hear as much variation on this album as possible. One of the reasons why I'm doing an album deep dive, listening to a full album of their material, sorry, coffee spoon, is because of the fact that I want to hear the little variations and the extra details, the experiments that maybe you wouldn't hear on just listening to the singles. Now, ironically, this is a music video, so but I'm not expecting this to go too wild. But so far on this album, we had Attitude, which was a fairly nice, simple, straight shooting song with a little bit of drama. Inferno obviously was much more rocky. So Cheers, I'm looking to see what we get. Maybe go in a different direction. Just see where they go with us. So let's check it out. This is Cheers by Mrs. Green Apple. There you go. That's my intro. What is that? Is that a green apple drink? I didn't even ask that. Alright, interesting start. I'm liking that trippiness. Oh, that bass is nice. That balance between the bass, the piano, and the drums. Got me excited. Video direction's cool as well. Alright, where we go? Okay, this is catchy. Oh, this is catchy, but it's also got the funkiness is really apparent in this. I'm loving the bounce. And right after Inferno on the album as well. Nice bit of variation. Oh, I'm loving that build up. This is that peak kind of pop catchy with quality. Yeah, I like this one. Oh, nice. Little cadence there at the end of the chorus. I guarantee this is going to turn out to be a drinks commercial for some brand. And I'm going to feel sad, but I'll live with it. Okay. Ooh, proper bridges make me happy. Yeah, this reminds me a lot of the sort of summery silent siren songs I used to love so much. Kind of got this joy, but this quality, this simplicity, and yet this nuance. Love that. And even using this little bit of production, this is such a nice little touch, adds a bit of attitude. Yeah, I really like that. Do you know that? I've often said that I keep on coming back to this, but it does need to be said. I do think there's a real art to doing something that has an accessible pop quality. And, you know, when you do something pop, you know, and something accessible, by definition, it can't be so wildly out there that you're testing new boundaries. You know, so it's going to have a certain degree of familiarity, a certain degree of something that people have heard before. And yet you've got to do it in a way where it feels like it's got a bit of life, a bit of soul, where it feels like something fresh. And to me, yeah, there's a lot of qualities about this where if you're not naturally into kind of pop music, you probably listen to go, it's just another pop song. But to me, I just feel like this has just that right balance, you know, that little weird kind of vocal synth thing going on in there as well. That was really cool, just nice. It was woven nicely through. It appears a little bit at the beginning, a little bit at the end, and you can hear it sort of playing around underneath the chorus there at the end there as well. That was nice, just gave a little bit of extra playfulness in the middle of the sound. But then when you actually listen to it, the piano, pretty simple throughout, but it's just doing this beautiful job accenting, giving a little bit of funk, a little bit of bounce to things, and had some nice little flourishes of its own. The bass, again, you know, not doing anything super complicated, but just doing enough to sort of syncopate against the guitars. The drum line as well, I shouldn't say this kind of thing. I wish they still had that drummer. The drummer is really good. Drummer's really good. Keeps on adding really cool things in all of the songs. The drummer's really good. All right, posthumously, well, not posthumously, but, you know, in retrospect, I'm love their new stuff, but let's be all very thankful for the fact the drummer was on this album, because she's got some good drum lines. That bit with the little quick snare-ons on the second verse was so cool. Did like the fact, again, you know, they threw in a proper melodic bridge. When you've got a poppy song, so many bands will just again, not being mean, but it seems almost to be the default that when you've got a really poppy song, you just sort of do the second chorus, and then I'll just have a little bit of a middle eight where you just sort of run through a couple of bars, and then chorus again, because everyone likes the chorus. I love the fact that, yeah, it takes guts, but it also takes proper songwriting to throw in a bridge where you go in a slightly different direction and you try to go for that extra build up to make the last chorus all the more impactful. And they did that here, and it just, yeah, for me, it worked brilliantly. Yeah, it went a little bit heavier, not super heavy, but just a little bit heavier, added a little bit of grit, a little bit of edge, and then we came into that last chorus. This, for me, is just a really nice example of how to do a song that is catchy, flows well, and has the impact. And again, I think, you know, as I say when I do these track-by-track reviews of albums, I'm not just looking at the song, but I'm also looking at how it sits on the album, because I do care about the cover-to-cover listen through of albums. Now, I did mention I didn't feel like this album got off to the strongest start. Inspiration was a bit of a muddled sound effects intro that I didn't think led well into Attitude, but Attitude was a good song. Attitude itself was a song where the last half was better than the first half, so a bit of a weird song to put at the beginning of an album. It took a little bit of a time to kind of like, you know, get its concept going. Inferno, kind of a strong rock song, but not like the best song I'd ever heard from them. But now, Cheers is definitely the single. Again, not doing anything super complicated here, but it's a really strong single, and you can hear these three songs have a very different vibe from them. Really interested to see Viking next, because Viking is the song where, is this the only song where they didn't get, okay, one of only, there's more at the end. Alright, it's definitely the only song in the first, bloody hell, the first 7 full-length songs. It's the only one that doesn't have a music video, so they are definitely, that's one where they're really going out there and saying, hey, we didn't want to give this one a music video. Even that's because it's not single worthy, because there's a bit of experimentation. So I'm excited about that. But I must say, up until this point, we've had 3 songs that are quite different, which means that as I listen through, the album is avoiding repetition and giving each song a little bit of identity, which is a great way to start off, you know. So I thought that Cheers was a good, solid piece of variation from what we heard up until this point. I think it's a good, funky song. Yeah, is it going to change the world? No. Well, it's 6 years old now, so it probably didn't change the world. But it's a sort of song where, if someone puts this on and you start kind of having a poppy fun time, it just bounces really well. And again, it's that thing when you know, I have no problem with production and programming beats and stuff like that. You know, human programming. I don't mean getting the AI to program your bloody beat for you. Program your own beat. It's not that difficult. You know, so for me, it's like when I hear like songs that have like programmed beats and stuff, I don't have a problem with that. But when you hear a band like this where, you know, it's all the pop qualities, it's a pop song in many ways, but just got that little touch of the humanity of the drums and the bass and the rhythm section being really solid like that, and the keyboards kind of coming in, sounding natural. Just kind of gives it this extra tangibility that just makes it feel more alive, makes it feel more fun. And I really like that aspect of it. So yeah, this for me was just this kind of what I want. I mentioned about the Silent Siren reference because that's what I mean. I mean, Silent Siren, ironically, another band who I think to people who are not big into them, they'd just be like, oh, Cherry Bomb, oh, it's just bubblegum pop where they're holding guitars and stuff like that. But if you listen to it, it's really good music with some nice intricacies, but it priorities being fun. Yeah, but obviously Silent Siren had lots of different songs, but if you look at their kind of most poppy songs, the ones most akin to Cheers, it was the sort of thing where it prioritized being fun and being enjoyable and being accessible, but you could enjoy it that little bit more because it had the humanity of real musicianship and real personality underneath it. And so for me, yeah, Cheers definitely feels like it was sparking that same feeling that I get when I listen to things like Silent Siren, and that for me is a big win. Big win. We need to have that kind of summery, fun, happy, silly pop music that still has the nuance and quality underneath it. And this, yeah. So I enjoyed this a lot. I probably enjoyed this more than I would expect most other people did. I'm always honest about that when I hear these songs. Sometimes I hear a song and I go, yeah, I think other people would like that more than me. I can see why that'd be popular. This is one of those songs where I wouldn't imagine it being like their biggest song, but I think this would certainly play towards me having a certain feeling of I just kind of enjoyed it. I think that the chorus was very catchy. I wonder if this is one of those choruses where it would get annoying because it is a bit repetitive. Is it an earworm in a way that could become annoying? I think that's probably the only thing working against it. If I listen to this song on repeat play, I think it could start to drill into my brain in a slightly less than pleasant way. But in a playlist, or as a song that I would come back to on its own occasionally, I think this is a bit of a winner. Yeah, I think it's a really cool little song. So credit to them, Mrs. Green Apple. Great little addition to the album. Can't wait to hear more. Viking next. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be the first Mrs. Green Apple song I think I've ever heard that doesn't have a music video. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? So, guys, feel free to follow as always. I think these are coming out every 3 days at the moment. So tune in 3 days from the release of this one, if you are watching this fresh as it comes out. And Viking should be coming out next. Anyway, that's that. I'll see you in the next video. And until I do, from here in Japan, for now, ciao, ciao.